What? I thought about key call, but man, find out you're laughing. Gentlemen, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. And welcome to the Diaspora Talk, the Asia Premium platform. We're here to discuss the issues and just the issues that concern our country, Mama Liberia. There is a music playing in the background. I don't know it is which one of us. We can just mute our mic
Yeah.
whenever it is our time to talk or we have the time to speak out. Then, of course, you can unmute it so that we can have the sound interfering with our discussion. So, Macon, it is when you're side, you can mute your mic. Macon, good morning there from Liberia. Okay, perfect. So, gentlemen, welcome again. Like I said, Gabriel there in studio. Good morning, good evening, my brother. We have Emmanuel, T-Max, Fangalo, and our correspondent there in Liberia. Ladies and gentlemen, if you just joining us, we want you to help us share the broadcast, invite your friends so that they can all come on here. We can discuss this together. We'll be discussing what's on your mind. It could be social, political, or religious issues or economic issues you want to talk about tonight. The best you can do is to follow the discussion, and then you can place your call through to be able to make your point. We'll be discussing social issues, political issues, religious issues, as well as economic issues. So the best you can do for, like I said, is to just follow the discussion. Then, of course, you can be a part to make a contribution. So, gentlemen, before we can go further, I would like for us to hear from our correspondent there in Liberia. Let him tell what's unfolding or what's going on there from Liberia. Welcome, everybody.
Michael?
Yeah, good morning to Liberians in Liberia or other countries. Yeah, thank you so much. Liberia, as a country, we are blessed with a lot of resources. We are blessed with good people. Because even if you go out there, people will tell you that Liberians are a good set of people. They treat foreigners or aliens well. And so we are blessed to have all of those titles, but unfortunately, the governance of our resources of our states are the problems. And so but however, we are still blessed, and we know one good day the leaders, God will be able to protect and guard our leaders to do the right thing for our people, so that at least we all can feel the impact of our wealth in this country. Right
Okay,
now,
Macon,
as
let
I
me
speak
just
to you,
hold you
there are a
there.
lot of different
Macon,
issues in Liberia, and one major one has to do with the exchange rate.
okay,
Currently, the
go ahead.
exchange rate in Liberia is not stable, but yeah, like I said, currently one major issues in our country, it has to do with the economy. The exchange rate of our country is not stable. But it has been reduced, but with all the reductions, we still don't find it very good for our citizen race, our people, as it relates to the low rates of the between the US and the Liberian dollar. It cannot commensurate with the common reality of purchasing power of our people, because right now people go and change $5 to 100 to 700 Liberian dollar, sometimes to 720, sometimes 740, just in that range. But what we observe as citizens is that at the time the rate was with around 900, was around 200. 1,000 rather. Sorry, we observed at that time commodity. It was stable. Even if you go to use the Liberian dollar, you get the exact rate of that particular items or material equivalent to the Liberian dollar. If the good is sold for $5 and you carry the Liberian dollar, they're going to charge
Yeah,
you.
Macon,
So now
just a
you
minute,
likely
please.
pay
I
about two or
want
three
this.
dollars United
Macon, are
States
you
dollar
hearing me?
equivalents in that money. And except with the
Macon, are you hearing me?
Yeah, I'm getting.
Okay,
Getting,
listen,
sir.
I just wanted to be a
Yeah,
little
I'm
bit
getting.
interactive.
Yeah, I'm
I
getting,
want to
sir.
ask you questions while you explaining. Or what's the current rate there in Liberia?
The current rate is between 146, 140. Just like that. Not really stable.
That
Like I
means,
said, it's not really
that
stable.
means a dollar US dollar is
Yeah.
equivalent to how much liberty?
Hello.
That means a dollar US is equivalent to how much liberty?
Yeah. Sometimes it's dollar US. Dollar US sometimes 70, sometimes 65. Because when
Oh,
what happens in our country is that dollar, when you are teaching dollar, they don't give you exact value of the exchange rate. You don't receive the exact value. Yeah, that's how dollar is like, but except within a five, then of course you can get a real rate.
Somebody play
So
you may
five
take the
five will be
bathroom.
equal to 700, but sometimes we give it. So now when dollar is there, dollar you take dollar for 60, 50, 70, just like that. $1.
okay, so another question I want to ask again, Michael, since the death of the former president Torbor's son, how's the situation there in Liberia? How Liberia responding to such incident?
Yeah, the situation actually is regretful. Citizens here, we are so much downhearted because the situation also come along with the immigration lady who also passed away from the Brave Field and Brave Belt. And so looking at it happening in sequence actually is bringing some troubling sounds or some troubling minds to some Liberians that indeed we are not really safe. And the security apparatus, they are doing their best to come up with the name of the the perpetrator, but we don't really know how far they are going with our investigation. But investigation is ongoing, and from our source of information that we gather is that he was tampered with. He was now normal cause of a death, but the death was not normal. That I can assure you.
Okay, so let's just hold you right there, Michael. We'll come back to you to ask you more questions of what's going on in Liberia. So just you can just hold on right there because we know there's a lot of things going on, and we would like to hear more of them. So, gentlemen, good morning, good afternoon. Like I said, to our audience that just joining us, you're following the Diaspora Talk HR Premium platform where we discuss issues concerning our country, Mama Liberia. Tonight is what's on your mind? What's on your mind tonight? That could be social, it could be political, it could be religious, it could be also economic issues. So the best you can do for us is just stick and still with us, follow the discussions as we draft through. So, gentlemen, good morning. Like I said from your end, and good afternoon and good evening here in South Korea. Welcome to the discussion tonight. Let us start from the far right, of my screen right now. Let's go strictly up to the man Fangalo. Fangalo, good morning there from the US of A. What's on your mind this morning, my brother?
Good morning, my brother. Good morning, the listening public. Currently, what's unfolding in Liberia when it comes to the mysterious death of people in and around our country is very alarming. It shows some sign of insecurity, like Malcolm previously stated. And my question here is, what is the law enforcement or the governing body is doing currently to secure our people? Because it's like we are living in the days of jungle justice, where somebody can just wake up and go and do what they want to do to somebody with nothing to be done, with no actions from the government or the justice system. So that's which is scary because we have investors, we have people that are contemplating going back home, like some of us, and seeing such a situation unfolding is very scary. Yeah.
Yeah, but let me just ask a little question right there. Let me just ask this question to you, Marco. Fangalo. I mean, can we trust the security? Because the issue of this this man death, it's down the first issues. So many deaths have occurred in the country. So many. I mean, uncountable. 3 children got missing. 3 boys got missing. Up to present, no outcome. Can we trust our security in the country? I mean, okay, let me ask this question to Malcolm. Malcolm, you there in Liberia. I mean, you think the security system, I mean, our security apparatus can be trusted? Are these guys really doing the job to convince the Liberians that they are? Malcolm, are you with us?
I think Malcolm is freezing.
Maybe you can try to change your location if you're not getting us clearly.
Yeah, when it comes to chores, yeah, are you there?
Go ahead.
Yeah. I'm on. Yeah, it's okay. I'm getting it clearly. Yeah. So, when it comes to security, from my own point of view, is that what I do observe over the short times, it has to do with the too much interference, by the executive or political interference. Let's just say that way, because there are police officers that are trained and they are doing their work, but on the overall or the average, when you have more political interference into the security settings, sometimes decisions that are to be derived or that are to be made or setting or security minds, sometimes it can have some some effects. So the guys are doing their work to admit, but as many times they get instruction, political instruction, and to implement political instruction with security instruction, sometimes the result cannot be very good. And that's why we are observing Liberia. Even when there's a protest, there's an assembly, and people want to use the security measure that they feel very relevant at that moment, you will realize that someone from the other side will just call and then give serious political instruction, and sometimes those political instructions it become chaotic. The secret, the guys there, they are trained. One may really did their best. They train them, even the U.S. government, they did their best, and they are aware of all of those things. But it's just like because of political instruction, so our security now they are not to be really trusted. Not all, but few areas, and few
Okay,
people.
thank you.
And those people that are few, they are the one at a higher height.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Let's hold you right there. And gentlemen, first, before we can go further, I want us all to take this time to be able to remember those that are died in Sierra Leone about a day ago. May their soul rest in peace, and the soul of all faithful departed rest in perfect peace. We saw what happened in Sierra Leone recent. It took, I don't know whether it was 1 or 2, but I mean, that was carrying gasoline. I mean, at the end of the day, we all saw what happened. I don't know the actual story as to what was the cause of that thing. I mean, exploding at the end of the day, we saw fire everywhere around a specific community that close to 400 or 400 plus lives was lost. May the soul rest in perfect peace. And we pray that the Almighty God comfort the bereaved families, because some of the people who died, they were the breadwinner of their family, and today they are gone. So that family, I mean, is at a setback. And moving forward, let us go down to our sister on the left, on my left, from my screen here, Victoria. Welcome to the platform. You look very much splendid tonight. Welcome.
Thank you very much.
What's on your mind?
Good evening, my favorite panelists. Today again is a great day. I'm very grateful to be on this show. A lot of things are on my mind, and we will take it bit by bit as we already discussing the security aspect of our country. Like my lender colleague said, Michael said that one of those reasons why our security that is responsible for the breakdown of our security system is political interference. Uh, I want to believe that because we have a lot of professional guys within our security apparatus that are well trained, that have passed through the rank and file, and of to be where they are today. But we see them finding it difficult to implement and or function within their position. Most of those guys fear that they don't want to really abide as it relates to their own ethics, but rather take instruction from the executive that undermine their function. And they are forgetting to realize that they are mandated to protect, the people of Liberia. It's not about protecting your job or being or a security partisan, not because you're from a particular political party or regime. You should, work at the detriment of your people. You should understand that you took oath, to protect your country and its citizens. No matter the situation, you are responsible for the welfare and security of your country and citizens. Because besides the person that gave you the job, let's say the president that gave you that job, you are also obligated to the citizen. The way you function, that's how you get another recommendation to serve, in another regime. So I think security, our security aspirators should take up responsibility is whatsoever position they are in, and do it to the best of their ability. There are so many secret killing, most especially the two recent ones, the third man and that of the third but these are permanent citizens. I think their death is not ordinary. It has some political, economic undertone. And I must commend the Ministry of Justice. They are already pumped into the investigation. We are looking at them, and this time around, we want for them to come with their findings. They should find the perpetrator of those people and that killed those people, and there should be penalty. They should be taken to court, and there should be penalty to serve as a deterrent, for those so many secret killings that are going on. I think people walk away because, and those killings are on the increase because the culture of impunity. There are a lot of lives that have been taken. We haven't seen any action from the government to prosecute anybody. And it will just come out, it will pop out in Liberia, the noise will go about, and all of a sudden it will just
Victoria, do you think this government should be taken seriously?
What? Sorry?
Do you think we should take this? Do you think that we should take this government as a serious government? Because with all of these things we are seeing,
I'm actually disappointed in this government. I'm seriously disappointed in this government. I think the government has failed the Liberian people in terms of security and economy and a lot of instability in our country. It's about time that I think the citizens need to step down to ensure that this government lives up to her promises, because you cannot say
how you think a citizen can step down. There should be another protest. That's what you're talking about.
We can agitate. We can protest. We can protest, and we can protest for our insecurity. We can petition our lawmaker on this and on this issue that threaten our survivability. There's something we need to take action, because government is sitting and we as citizens we sitting. Everybody will just be silent and there will be nothing done. Just imagine I spoke with one security officer back home. It was after 6 p.m. last night. You were telling me, "Oh, Vicky, this country is not safe. If you have your family, advise them not to stay in the street for long." Just imagine a police officer is telling me this. Then what about the common citizen? Yes, indeed, the country is not safe. Our people need to rise up. They need to protest or demand for their protection.
Okay. Thank you so much. Let me hold you right there. We will stay come back because we got a lot of issues in our mind tonight. Let's go to T-Max quickly up on the screen. Then we go to Gabriel and then the Vasa. And then somebody who's over there. Okay, anyway, we'll get to them. T-Max, let's go to you. What's on your mind this morning, my brother? Welcome. There, the man is Ghanaian attire from the US of A. Welcome, my brother.
Akwaba.
Akuaba, exactly. Welcome, Akuaba. What's on your mind, T-Max?
Yeah, good
I think
morning.
you're muted.
Yeah, I did. Good morning to our dynamic panel. And good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you find yourself around the globe. But from my end, I want to say good morning. Well, this morning, there's a lot of issues on my mind when it comes to our country and the global community. But one of the things that was just touched on that is very concerning has to do with security.
Mm.
It's important that the government understand that every citizen that live out in the diaspora, their ears are always back home. You know, there's a saying that the heart is always closer to home. So we all want to hear good things about our country. We want to see our country safe. We want to go to our country and feel comfortable, you know, being home. If we sit out here and see people just getting killed, you know, in their own house and, you know, on the street and everywhere, that's concerning. That's very alarming. And I mean, we understand when it comes to security, there are a lot of challenges, especially when it has to do with Africa. But I think the government have that responsibility to take care of its people, to protect life and property. It's unfortunate that people living in their own country can just get killed at any time, at any moment, without protection. So it come back to it actually come back to say, that's why I asked the question once: is it important that decent citizens be able to protect themselves in sense of having a registered arm in your home where you can defend yourself? Is that something the government needs to start looking at? Because if you have a situation in your house or in your yard or in your area, how long does it take for police to respond to that situation?
Well, you should understand that's Africa, my brother. It's far different from the Western world.
That's what I'm saying. So even in Western world, that police respond very fast. People still have the right. Responsible citizens have the right to bear arms to protect themselves and their family. So I think.
So what's your suggestion? What's your suggestion to the government? Do you think because I think there's a small armed unit within Liberia. So do you think that the government should be able to allow every citizen to be able to purchase their own arm, where they can be able to protect themselves, because the security in our country, I mean, they're not able to protect the citizens. They are dying every day. Is that your suggestion, brother?
So I won't say every citizen should have a weapon. I would not recommend that. But what I would say is responsible citizen. That word would be added because for you to bear a weapon, there should be a thorough background check. You should be somebody of character. You should be somebody who's trusted to bear an arm, not just giving arm to everybody.
But there is something you understand, my brother. Africa, they always bend the rules. So at the end of the day, it will not still be a check and balance. I mean, investigation that will go on.
Yes, but if it all starts with the government. If the government can put a system in place, right? Like where some of us live, if you buy a weapon and you buy your ammunitions, those weapons and rounds have they have numbers that can be traced if you use any of those anywhere. So the government can put that system in place, know who they're issuing weapon to, how many rounds they issue, those rounds, their serial numbers and everything. That can be easy to track. If something goes wrong or something happened in an area that, you know, they suspect something and they can investigate and find out if you did that. But on a serious note, the government needs to start looking at putting things in place for the citizens to feel comfortable to come home for vacation, to come home to do whatever, undertaking projects, whether they want to carry companies and doing projects. So, but for people to sit out here and see people just dying almost every day in the country and the government cannot account for it, most of the investigation I've seen, they have not caught anybody or said anything concrete of most of those deaths. So my issue here is that the government needs to step up more in terms of protecting its citizens. If they don't have the manpower and capacity to do it, then they have to allow people to be able to register and get a weapon to protect themselves. I would recommend that highly. Responsible citizens should be able to protect themselves. Because if somebody walk up in my house and you got no business walking in my house at 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, well, I'm entitled to self-defense.
Okay. Okay, T-Max, let us hold you right there. We'll come back to get more views from you on the issues of what's on your mind about our country, Mama Liberia. So let's go quickly to Gabriel. Gabriel, what's on your mind this morning about Liberia? Good morning, dear. In studio, my brother.
Good morning and good evening to everybody listening to all from the nook and cranny of the world. So I would like to say, what's currently on my mind is the security issue concerning our country. You know, it's so scary these days, especially when you wake up in the morning and they say, oh, this person was found dead. And it is believed that there was a foul play. It is politically motivated. And the most astonishing thing is that most of the crimes are committed, or most of the things are just swept under the rug and nobody heard about them. Investigations are just done on the surface, and we don't go down deep into it. And I can say these things are so bad for the image of our country. Someone asked me, why is Liberia always poor? Why are we poor despite, we are so naturally gifted and we have all the resources? Why is it that every investor is even afraid to venture into the country? Well, everything boils down to this. If you have a country where, the justice system is not trusted, people believe that, the security has lost its independence, the court has lost its independence. And tell me which one of the investor, well-intentioned investor, will want to venture into that kind of country. People who even have money. People, foreign direct investor will even be afraid to invest into those kind of country. We have the issue of the 3 missing boys. Where are they? What is going on with with the 3 missing boys? Is there any investigation? Is the police coming out to tell us what is actually happening? The late son, that's John Tubman. The late John Tubman, and another son of of William V. Tubman. He was just murdered in his home, in his Fiamma residence. What is actually happening? There has been no investigation. Even if there's investigation, the public is not being updated. Nobody has, is even hearing about it. What is actually happening? And again, we have a president, and let's say the late Tubman. Tubman was also believed to have been murdered in his house. What is going on into the country that all the killings are going on and you cannot get one perpetrator? Are you telling me that these people are just dying? So, these things are so alarming, and it brings a very bleak image on our country. If you see people are so apprehensive to go into Liberia, they don't want to invest, they believe it's a door-eat-door society. It's because of some of these things. The police or the justice ministry has to come out and become very, very much, robust and proactive in dealing with those issues. Because it is handicapping our own environment, our own economic environment. Investors are running away. People believe that that's a safe place to be. So, it's so much terrifying. And I believe that most people, the perception that the police have been partisanized and the level of, it's all about impressionism. People are just working to impress the government and not to actually, work in favor of the country or for the people or because of patriotism. That perception is very, very bad for the police. The police is almost a loss in its independence. It should be like a neutral body, be there for everybody. But now you can see the people call the police, CDC police. It's because of the way nobody trusts the police now. So everybody is like taking, self-precaution. Everybody want to protect themselves. People believe that something will happen and nothing will go. That's a very bad perception of the country. And it is actually actually handicapping and destroying our economy. It is bringing more poverty on our people.
Okay. Are you done, Gabriel?
Yeah.
Okay, everybody raising a very salient point on here tonight. I just hope that government officials back home are following so that they can be able to get pieces of information from what we are disseminating to the public. Let's go to the Vassal quickly. Vassal, you're welcome to the show.
Yeah, thank you, CEO, and good morning, good evening to my colleagues. CEO, the security system in our country is scary, but there are factors that we should look at when we are discussing issues and when we are holding the government feet to issues like this. The political system in our country have a lot of things to do with some of the things that happen. When you look at the opposition, finding ways to prove themselves, being a group of people without finance, and you can really, nobody will trust or opposition for country that Liberia to give them like maybe millions of dollars to run campaign, and looking at some of the division they have, some of the the problem they have on their camp and other things, and people you find type of opposition black, the news information like ritualistic killing, maybe some other death issues to just make people believe that look, the government is not doing nothing. Those are the factors that people use to get to position. I'm not backing for the government. I know that there are other things that will be going on within the system, the governing system, but we as Liberians, we have to know that human life is valued, and living in an environment safely is very, very important. We cannot live in a society like this, wherein you will just wake up in the morning and someone is there. And and look at the condition of the country. Even if you are investigating, what mechanism you have in place to really investigate someone? You don't have camera system. You don't have no information-based system that is set up. And for you to just, catch some other guys who doing nothing is very, very difficult. And even if the government is focusing on campaign and other things, and some guys will just sit down there and say, look, man, since we don't have the money, we don't have the resources, let's just do something so that the people can believe that the government is not doing anything. And that's a setback for the government. And people will believe them. Like what we're saying about the US rate, the death rate, ritualistic killing. People just sit back in their home and do all the things just to make the government to look bad. And we have to talk both sides. We have to make our leaders to understand that life is very important. We shouldn't use all the things to be blaming a certain group of people, So, when I just look at the issues, my brother, I can just, it kind of was scary. So I will just stop here and then we'll just go around the table.
Okay, thank you, Vassal, there for that point. Gentlemen, I think we are getting there. Points are being made. And like I said, I hope the government here is following us so that they can know what's unfolding. Makata, you keep going on and off, so you have to be stable tonight before we can get your points. If not, then we will just keep jumping over you, and then you go on the wayside. So hope you be stable tonight so that the audience or the public can be able to hear from you, because they are tired of you going out and coming in. Okay, so gentlemen, like I said, everybody making a salient point tonight, and hope the government over there, government officials are following and listening to all of these points we are making. But let me firstly give my own point or my own view or my own suggestion or observation. What I have seen over a long period of time. What's on my mind tonight, gentlemen? Liberia is our own country. Because sometimes people feel that Liberia is not our country. Maybe it's just somewhere we're spending time. Liberia is for us all. Every Liberian. And thank God that the government now have made it possible that once you obtain citizenship in other country, you are still a Liberian. Nothing will stop you from being a Liberian. That is something that I've observed over a long period of time, for a decade plus. That the security system in our country is very weak, very lazy, to the extent that motorcyclists will always create a scene in the country that at the end of the day, no action being taken. Mob violence is one of the major things in Liberia that goes on every day, every freaking day. Mob violence. Somebody was still in the community and people started to run behind that man. The next thing you see that man dead, body on the ground. A truck driver or a taxi driver will hit a motorcycle, and the next thing you see that taxi is on fire. Which country or developed country or advanced country will you see the kind of thing happening, that people taking laws in their own hand? The only reason you see people taking laws in their own hand when you have a lazy law, when you don't even have a law, or when you have a lazy government, you have a very weak government. That's the time you see citizens taking decisions in their own hands. You can never see those things happening in the Western world because the people respect the law in this country. Where your right stops is where another person's right begins. So if you want to take the law in your hand, what happens at the end of the day? You either go to prison or you spend a lot of money that you will get confused and disturbed. Liberia is a mob violence country. I repeat, Liberia is a mob violence country. Liberia is a domestic violent country. The reason is very simple. We cannot have trained police officers in our country, trained military personnel in our country, and at the end of the day, things will just happen and you get no outcome. How it happened, why it happened, who did this, who did that, who should be prosecuted, nothing at the end of the day. People will get messy in the country, at the end of the day, nothing will come out of it. 3 young men that have their families, at the end of the day, just vanished from this earth with no better outcome of what happened. People will die in the street every day. No judgment for those people. I feel so sick sometimes in my stomach when I see motorcyclists carrying on mob violence in Liberia. I feel so sick in my stomach when I see citizens carrying on mob violence in Liberia. If somebody steals, at the end of the day, they should be prosecuted. They should go to prison for stealing. Citizens themselves should not beat on our president to death. What kind of country is that? There are a lot of things our government need to look into. There are a lot of things they need to do in that country. And that's the reason Liberians that are in the diaspora they feel reluctant every time to go back into their own country. And we always say investor is not coming in the country. How can investors come in the country that Liberians that in the diaspora themselves are not investing in the country? Liberians themselves are not investing in the country because the thing is very simple. The Liberians in the diaspora should be the first people to invest in the country, and they will encourage the investor that are also in the diaspora to come and invest. So a Liberian in the diaspora are not investing in their own country. How do you expect investors to flow in the country? Because it is the diaspora Liberians that will attract or encourage the investor in the diaspora to go and invest in our country. A lot of things to be looked into. I don't want to lose my temper tonight, but I want to stop right here. Let's go. Let us go to let's go up.
Christina Fuller want to come on. She said she's not getting connected. Let's someone aid her through, please.
Okay, let me try to do that in the background. So okay, Victoria, you can just continue from there.
Like seriously? I thought you're coming around. Okay. I want to divert a little bit. I have another burning issue on my mind. As it relates to the issue of mental state, the recent concession amendment by the government of Liberia taken on September 10th. The government of Liberia extended mental state agreement to 25 years. And there had been agitation, there had been, sorry?
Assalamenta or?
Yes. Actually, mental, sorry. So 25 years, they extended and amended the document, the concession agreement to 25 years. And then the citizens of Nima County in recent time, they had a demonstration and they put their country devil also. And whenever you see a country putting a country devil also, it means that they are very angry, and that is the last thing they want to do to inform the government that there's a need to come to that aid. The people are the direct beneficiary of this concession agreement, and any attempt to not get involved is a serious issue. And you know why it is. The government is keeping this identical agreement as a secret document. The Freedom of Information Act file in or request for this document, like 7 media institutions file in or request for this identical policy document. And up to now, civil society group, up to now, the executive branch of government has refused to disclose this agreement. What in this agreement? It is at the detriment of the Liberian people. This document, this concession agreement is there for the regime to maximize wealth at the detriment of the people. What it is a secret document. What is in this document? We are calling on the government to make this identical public document available. Let our people have access to this document because they are the direct beneficiary, while a positive or negative, anything in this identical concession agreement will either affect their lives positively or negatively. So there is a need for the government to make the identical document available because it's 25 years agreement. It's a long time. So I'm using this media to call on the government of Liberia to make the identical document available so our people can get access to the document so that they can be part and parcel. Let them be part and parcel of this agreement. They are the ones on ground. They are the most affected people. I think there's a need for them to be part of this identical agreement. That's another burning issue in my mind that maybe we can discuss also.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much. That is people-centered issue, very, very much sensitive. So I think the first thing we also have, the government has to actually scrutinize the process and actually look at Meta Steel, look at their previous operation and know whether the company has been living to its, corporate social agreement, corporate social agreement, the CRS, whether it has been adhering to it, what has been the impact of, saying it has been in existence, how is it controlling pollutions, in the area, how is it controlling the environmental hazards, and secondly, you look at, the condition of the people. You look at, people who are actually working, the beneficiaries, whether let's say the employees, whether their children are actually attending good schools, their dwelling places. What are their incentives? And you look at those things, and I think Asila Meta also has a yearly budget for the counties, and you actually look at how the money has been remitted to the counties, how they are. There are so many things need to be looked at. There's not something that should just be done surreptitiously or within or in camera. The people need to be involved, as my sister said. And I think because the people are agitated, that's why they brought up or guilt devil, right? As you call it, from the bush. So if you
Yeah,
see the devil coming from the bush and coming in town, then you should know something is very, very much concerning. That's why the devil is
yeah.
actually in
And
town. So
just added
yes,
they said Ashita Meta is extending, taking away their lands, and they are confused because the government failed to inform them. And moreover, it's so hilarious because I saw the former senator and former pro tempore file in a lawsuit against Ashita Meta, Senator Weston Garfield, some like few months within the same course of the time that the concession agreement was extended. And then the government of Liberia went and extended this concession agreement while the laws were against Ashton are a senior citizen because the people of Grand Basin also demonstrated that those in the past agreement, those things that were necessary, those benefits that should have come to the country directly, those favorite countries, the three countries, Nema, Bob, and Grand Basin, the people, the citizens are not getting into the school and health and salary. And, the people are saying they are benefiting, from this concession. So there was huge demonstration,
that's
and all of a sudden we saw the executive extending and another 5 years. Then why is it keeping the document as a secret? It is document at the detriment of the Liberian people. We need to know they are answering to us. We need to know. We signed a social contract with the government of Liberia. There is no need for them to hide anything from the people of Liberia.
Prof. Fangalo, what have you to say on that concerning the Asila metal issue? Is the company actually treading the right path?
Well, thanks, Gabriel, for the invite. The thing is that it's disheartening, to see our people treating each other like this.
Mm-hmm.
We say the government should be for the people, by the people.
Yeah.
Or by the people, for the people. Either way it goes. But when it comes to our setting, it's like the government is there to seek self-wealth, especially when it comes to the hierarchies. I am a citizen of a native of Nema County, and when I hear this type of issue, it makes me cry internally, because the county stand to lose a whole lot. You know what I mean? I'm seeing that they have extended a 25-year contract.
Yeah, 25 years.
The 25-year contract, the previous one between the Ellen regime and them, we didn't even see anything, because at one point they cut down their employee, they cut down almost 450 jobs, because of quote unquote low income, or I don't know what they would say, exports on iron ore.
Yeah.
But that wasn't really my point. Really what I wanted to actually dwell on was with reference to the rate. The rate in the country.
Yeah.
When within the economy, when the rate is going low, which is the purchasing power, we normally observe that we know that the country have some form of domestic exportation, like they got stuff that they exporting to kind of prop up the economy. But this rate that is dropping and is still the same is, I would say, is an artificial drop that is going on.
Yeah.
Because if you tell me that the Liberian dollar is battling the United States dollar to that extent, my next question would be, what are we exporting, or what are we producing that is supporting the Liberian dollar to that extent that is battling the United States dollar? I really want to understand, because people will just be like, oh, why the rate is dropping? Oh yeah, that's a good thing. Okay, the numbers are dropping physically, bingo. But what are we doing to uphold the economy to that extent? That's my question this morning, and that's something that is running through our mind. What are we doing? Is this something that is being done by the government behind the scene that we know that they're doing, that is battling the United States dollar, or is those fiascos or dropping of rate and nothing else happening somewhere? I really want to understand, and that's my point. That's the burning issue this morning for me.
Bro Makate, bro Masakwe, what have you to say about that?
Well,
Yes. All right, Makate, go ahead.
my attention is being drawn to the recent killing of one of the prominent person in our society, in our nation, Reverend Toba, who have served as a peace ambassador of that country. I think the government needs to really work on its security strategy and work. Because
please be a little audible, man.
Okay. I'm saying that the security issue in our country needs to be looked at. The legislature needs to call the government to a book to ensure that the security issues, those are on security, also should be fully involved and active, because despite the challenges of the country, there's a possibility that if the people live in peace, they can do anything they wish to develop themselves. What you can give to the people is security. Even if you cannot give them all of the environment they need, the most important environment needed by the people is security. First thing, because without security, there's nothing that you can do, even if you want to do your personal life or family life or as a national duty. It's difficult because everything else is tied to security. So I think the government needs to really work on the security sector, because if they cannot work on that, it will be difficult for them to attract investors. Because investors want to invest in a country that is free of, that is secure, that is free of brutality, and all of these things are not good for the country. So we in the diaspora, what we ask for is security for us to invest. And then also the issue of Asna Military in Lima and all those things, any country, any environment where you want to develop, where you want to carry on investment, the people there should be the key fighters for development. They should be involved into the process, because you cannot enter an agreement without the people. They should benefit more because they have the resources. Our government should divide equal 50% or 60% to the community, because the community people are the direct beneficiary of that resources that is there. So you cannot do it in the absence. They should be involved, and every document that is associated with that investment should be a public access, that people can access it at any time and anywhere, so that they can be able to know the step to take along in pursuing their benefits. So it's important that we look at that. So that's what I want to share, and as we go along, we'll be able to make more reports. But thank you for the platform, and thank you for the discussion that we have.
Yeah, bro, Masako, I think you wanted to come in before Makati step in. Yeah, I think you are muted.
Yes. So we are speaking on the issue of security, and which is one of the biggest concern every human being should have when it comes to a country or a government. I was just on the U.S. Embassy in Liberia. They evaluate on their citizens' travel, right? And just one portion of their statement that they put out, they said violent crimes in Liberia, such as armed robbery, such as armed robbery, in common, particularly in urban areas and on public beaches. The local police lack the resources to respond effectively to those crimes. So, I mean, that tells you, where the country is in terms of security. So, there's a whole lot there that I can't really put out here, but I just chose that portion to tell you that even armed robbery, why should people be robbing the country? Like they're talking about on public beaches. So it means you can be out there having fun and you get robbed. So they're warning you to tell you that expect this to happen to you if you come here. So for a country like Liberia, if you've seen something like this on a country like the U.S. advisory to their citizens or other, even Liberians who live in the U.S. that want to come home, and you're seeing such, publication on a country, that should be concerning and alarming to the government. The government should understand that every responsible government should be able to have security and to take care of their citizens and protect them. Every responsible government should take that as a first priority, because if this kind of advisory is on the U.S. website, any other country, be it Germany, France, all the other countries that want to do stuff in that country, when the U.S. put out a statement, it's something the whole world
Everybody follow.
listens to. Yeah, because they're not going to get bribed to give her information. They don't want no handout for information. They will tell you as it is. And so that's why people listen when the U.S. speak. So the government needs to understand that with all these advisories, they might see people, people will still go back home. People will try to do stuff, but it's not as compared to if Liberia had a good ranking and they have a country like the U.S. speaking on security on the country that, the security, people can go, the security is improved, people can feel comfortable being in Liberia or in the capital. I think we'll have more investors and more people wanting to run over there, even foreigners, than what it is now. Because everybody, before you go to any country or anywhere, the first thing you think to yourself is, am I secure? Yeah. Am I going to be okay? Am I going to go in there and come back alive? You know what I mean?
It's true.
So we can talk about all the other issues, but one major thing I always say the government needs to really look at, and they're not even making it better, because with all the secret killings and the murders and all that stuff happening right on their watch, and they're not even trying to get to the bottom of those things, and it keeps happening, that's just going to deter a lot of responsible governments and a lot of responsible citizens from going back home, maybe until they find a government that is more responsible, more secure, more protected. That's when you find people, having the edge or courage to go back home, which is sad for a country like Liberia. So I understand they talk about logistics, which is something that we all understand. Liberia is a third world country. They're not strong enough to support themselves. They depend on other foreign governments for assistance. But I mean, the best you can ever do is to at least try to equip your security forces and try to get the police the needed logistics to be able to do their work and do their job to crack down on crimes, especially like robbery, murders, and all of that. That should not be happening on a daily basis in public. That's not a good image for the country. And I just want to stop there and give it back to you.
Yeah, Tima, before you actually go off, I just want for all of us to just, because, sometimes it is said, there are a few ways people know your priority, why you actually prioritize. That's the number one way is to actually look at the way you spend your money, the way you budget you do your budgeting. What you spend huge portion of your money on, it tells what you actually prioritize. So let's look at our budget, our national budget. Is the security, even though I don't know, we are, the budget is not really handy right now, we don't have it, but let's look at the way the budget is apportioned. Is the police actually, as the security actually, prioritize within the budget? Because every time we are hearing that the police is, logistically challenged, and you're hearing people are collecting, let's say, almost like $30,000. Lawmakers. Are you getting me? And we are talking about police being, or logistically challenged. The budget, they just take few portion of the budget and give it to them. So can we say that, security is not just being prioritized, to just say it literally like that? It's not actually being prioritized. Is that how it seems like? Hello?
Before I get back to you, we have a caller on the line, and I would just like to let him air his view. Stewart, go ahead.
Yeah, this is Medic Stewart. Stewart. Let me be share with you guys. Liberians, I can work in a cage.
You guys getting him?
No, he's not too clear. He's breaking.
You can be audible a little bit. Just you can little bit audible.
Liberians,
much better.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay.
I
Yes, we will have to be the one in the diaspora to rescue them. Because when you are doomed or when you are in a cage, you don't see what's happening around you. But we have had the opportunity to travel, and we know what life is in the Western world. So we have to be the one to bring that change. We have to be the one to engage the government. Let me tell you something. There are laws in Liberia that can put a senator in jail. There are laws in Liberia that can prosecute government officials. And if the people in Liberia do not have that capacity, we can do it. We have the money. We have the resources. We can come together and we can take our government officials to the court system. If the court system is corrupt, we can take it to ECOWAS. But we have to do something. We must start to act now. We have to empower our police so that a private in the police will have that just enough for to arrest a senator or representative. Because they are taking advantage of the Liberian people because many of them are poor. They don't have money. So they are doing these things, and then at the end of the day, they go there in the villages and stuff, and they drop pennies. But we know better. If we don't rise up now,
yeah, I've been missing something here so greatly.
When we put money in an international account and hire lawyers to fight the corruption in our country, our people will go down, and the country one day will have no Liberia. And it starts with you, it starts with me, and it starts with everybody. Because our people in Liberia, our government officials, they are educated, but they lack ethics. And education, if you don't have ethics, you are not educated. So I would say that to most of the people in Liberia that are doing what they are doing, regardless of their PhD or master's degree, they don't have education. So we must fight. We are not going to take war to Liberia, but we are going to use our resources to bring about change to Liberia. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you very much. That was our brother Lincoln Stewart, thank you for your contribution. And thank you for being on the show. So we ready right there. Our brother spoke lengthily.
Okay, gentlemen, I'm back.
And
Yeah,
back to
you got. Yeah, you guys sorry there for the little delay because I was helping our sister to come on, and I think she's on already. So, Madam Christina, are you there?
She's here, but
Hello?
I think she joined us. Her camera is not on. She joined without camera.
Madam Fuller, are you there? Hello?
Yeah, she still having some difficulties.
No, are you there? Once you can respond, then we'll be able to get her. Are you there, Madam Fuller?
Just send a text in our chat room and ask her maybe.
Yeah, so she just need to turn her camera and the mic on from the button. Then, of course, you're going to be on. Okay, so, gentlemen, sorry there, like I said, for the little delay in. So, our callers, our audience that are there that want to put in a call, the number on the screen. But I'm also going to pin the number at the bottom of the screen. So, the best thing you can do is to look on, at the screen. Look, on the screen, you'll see the number right there. You can call this two number on WhatsApp or IMO. Those of you that are in the US of A, the US number is there. If you're in Liberia, the number. Oh, by the people just calling my phone, man. Yeah. You guys should stop calling my phone. The number on the screen, there's the call. Yeah, the number. Okay, let me put out the number quicker, gentlemen.
You can take the call. You can also take the call.
You can take the call. Let's try to.
No, I can take the call. That's the phone I'm using here, bro. How can I take the call?
Can I come in? Deborah, can I come in?
Advisor, before you come in, I know Gabriel asked a question.
Yeah.
The resources of the police before the call came in. Let me we understand, right? I see Emmanuel Charles, and he says that if you look at lawmakers' salaries alone, if those lawmakers were waiting to at least cut maybe 10 or 15% of the salary to put in the budget to help other areas in the country, I think that would do a lot. But they make a whopping salary and get a whole lot of stuff they put in. They pass their own budget for their operation and all their stuff. So, and they always, when it comes to budget passing the House, it's always lucrative than the regular national budget. That has to do with like you just heard, the 30,000 that they put in the bill for themselves, and all of that stuff. Those monies can be put into security, into education, into health sector to help these entities to do better. But they want those money put in their pockets, and that's the problem Liberia have. Unfortunately, we always look at the executive a lot, but one of the problems I always say in our country is the House, the legislature, the House of Representatives, and the Senate. They play a key role in the downfall of that country because they always seek their own self-interest. Unfortunately, we always look at the executive because it's the most popular branch of government that everybody eyes, roll on. But when it comes to making laws and it comes to passing meaningful budgets for the country to operate and for them themselves to make sacrifice for the country to drop some of those huge incentives that they have in our house, they don't want to do it. So where do we go from there? One person want to drive 100 and some more $1,000 car or $50,000-$75,000 car in a third world country. You don't even have roads to drive those cars on.
It's so sad.
So that's it, Gabriel. You can take it from there, but
advisors, you can come in from there. Our sister Vic, the co-host, can just take the lead.
Yeah, I wanted to make a point on our sister Vic and the issues that have to do with Asala Meta and that of Neymar, Bon, and Grand Bassa. I've been looking into these issues of the government, the central government, and Neymar issue. When you when you see the amount of money that the government owes a county within the country, it's closely around 6 million that the central government owed Nema County. And when it comes to the issues between the government, the central government, and Nema, it have to do with the other county. Sometimes when you look into the issues, you will notice that you will blame the government, but on the other hand, you will not also blame the government. Because let's look at the rest of the county. There are some counties in Liberia, they have representatives, they have senators in the House. Those people go there to lobby, to advocate for their people. And Nema alone, if you look at how, although Nema work the money that they're supposed to have, but if you look at some other county, they don't have anything at all. Or even if they have those resources, they are not doing anything with our resources right now to even give them revenue or other things. So it will always be on that basic that the representative and the Senate, they will always want for we all Liberians to benefit from our country. And you will find out that Nema, the representative and the senator from Nema will always fall short. Like it always on the basis of like humanity. What will do with the people from Grand Jida? What will do with the people from Riverside? What will happen with the people from Maryland? What will happen with the people from Kima? So it will always be on that basis that the lawmakers will be making decisions like, let's give the county they want. For example, let's look at the little form they were sharing around, like District 1 in Nema took 50 million Liberian dollars. District 1. And Babolu, they gave Babolu, the whole entire Babolu, they gave them 30 million Liberian dollars. And one district in Nema is carrying 50 million Liberian dollars. You see? So that's the point. Sometimes you will blame the government on the issues, like the agreement with Asalamenta and other things, and the government will be holding on to the agreement, the information, because when what you're supposed to give to Bassa, Bon, and Nema, when you just give it out to them, it means that the rest of the country will have nothing, or the government will have nothing for operation and other things. So I think the issues, the elders and the government, they need to really sit down and really make the thing very clear to the people in the community, the citizens, and explain to them, let them understand what is going on. Let them make it very clear to them, because it's not clear. That's why you see the citizens will always be agitating. People will be demonstrating in those various counties because it's not clear, and they are not trying to make it clear to the people. Like just recently, Korea 2022.
Okay, gentlemen, I think finally we got our sister on. Wow.
Yeah.
Hello, gentlemen. I think we have a caller from here.
Yeah, we are the first.
Let's take this call from Liberia. Good evening. Or good morning from there. Hello?
Good morning.
Good morning. I am so sorry. I apologize for being late. I just have some technical issues with my control. One of our colleagues just helped me to settle.
Hello, panelists, can we please take the call from Liberia? We'll join you shortly. Hello?
Hello.
Is the caller audible?
Good morning. Are you guys hearing me?
Yeah, we're hearing you, but someone
I don't know what's going on.
Someone's on the line.
Yep, I can hear some sound now.
Someone's on the line. Just hold on 1 minute. Let's take the call, please.
Hello?
Caller, can you please go? Yes, go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you very much. I want to say thank you to all the panelists on the show. This is Siki Kumar from District Number 2 in Maswaro County. I'm the National Coordinator of the COP chapter here in my district.
Okay.
I listened to your show this morning, and I hear a lot of concern about security and Liberians living in fear here. You know, let's be honest here. This is not about protest. No longer. Protest, at the end of the day, you go on the street, they tear gas you, they do a lot of things to you. So they don't have just been they take you from town. It didn't start with this government. It started from the early selling government and now it continues. How can we solve this? It's kind of difficult because nobody wants to stand for the cause now. Everyone seems to be like, trying to identify with our political parties or political leaders or politicians. So because of this,
go ahead.
We need security.
You want government?
That's all we need to do. Because the people that, if you advocacy yourself, go and protest, those people just give the protest to you. And you also put it up on the other right, and then they say, Liberians, they are violent people. So what I have to say to all Liberians that is listening to this show today, if you are in a diaspora, you have your family here, all I want to say is to advise them, to take a very good measures by always being in a various environments or various community, so early, because that's the only thing we can do. If former presidents, children can be, killed like this, nothing come out of it. What's about ordinary Liberians? Can you imagine the big boys that got missing? The justice minister called that the parents are not cooperating. So why are we heading to as a country? But if you come out to speak those things, people see you as a bias. Once you're not linking with Asa, they see you as a bias.
Hello. So from your view on the ground, are you literally telling us that the country is not safe?
The country is not safe, my brother. The country is not safe. The injustices is at a high rate. And everyone in this country, whether oppositions or ruling government, they are all into it for themselves. And we as Liberians, we need to stand up to change the dynamic. We need to stop being so sycophantic to those politicians. They don't really need us. We are the young people here. We know what we are going through here. You fight for those people, they get there. Nothing you see at the end. That's why some of us we know. The way it is, and once we start in the interest of us, we don't battle. No one should have in these countries. People are dying mysteriously. Balance, human balance is being taken from them. And the government just see those things. They don't talk about it. All they do is
laughing.
Okay, gentlemen. I mean, I think that's enough on the color that Gabriel. I think that's enough from me.
Look, my brother Tima, I said it earlier. I said, you guys are making it thing like a thing. Because the government is carrying on some campaign preparation right now. So they issue, you're just carrying it to say, say you're having confusion on your camp. You're just trying to just put blame on government and put the blame in America is even CPP. So the only thing you would just put blame on the government, that's all.
Gentlemen, I don't think there's something to politicize. I mean from a 360 degree analysis, you will know that Liberia is not actually a safe place for now. There's nothing to sugarcoat about this. So we just have our sister here, Mr. Fuller. She just joined us. So we would like to welcome you. The floor is all yours.
Thank you so much. Good morning, guys. I previously stated I had some technical issues beyond my control that one of our colleagues just helped me to settle. I am deeply sorry for running late.
Yeah, no problem. You're welcome.
What Victoria running good? Yeah, gentlemen, like I said, you got sorry also because I was actually helping her to come on so that we can all make the discussion a fruitful one. But welcome to the platform. This is Diaspora Talk, where we discuss issues concerning our country, Mama Liberia. So our audience out there, the number is down on the screen. At the bottom of the screen, we just pin the number at the bottom. So if you want to place your call to, give us your concern or give the public your concern, you can just call the number there on WhatsApp, or you can call direct. There's a USA number and also a South Korea number. You can place your call through and then to put your points. So the number is also at the top of the screen, at the bottom of the screen. So if you want to make your point that the audience are asking for the number, is both at the top and at the bottom, so you can put your points through. So, gentlemen, like I said, I'm sorry again for
can we please give our
the
sister
delay.
I don't know whether she.
Yeah, I saw she been following. She been following the discussion, so she can make a point quickly while we're going through all of the discussion.
Once again, I want to say thank you to you guys for the idea, the brilliant idea for putting this broadcast together, because we all need to work in the common good of our country, and we all need to speak because we are the voice of the voiceless. People in Bojise will not be able to speak. People in Kawikin will not be able to speak, but we can speak on behalf of our people to have what intended for the country to be implemented in an appropriate manner. So I will not be going through the topic right now. I will follow closely because I don't know which one of the topic we are discussing right now. So I can't just jump the gun. So I want to just
what's on your mind? What's on your mind? It could be political, social, or economic, or maybe religious issue. Just what's on your mind. That's what we're discussing tonight.
What's on my mind is the issue of the killing. It's something alarming that we all need to be afraid of. I know we have previously discussed it because it was one of our talking points, but it's something alarming that we all need to be concerned. Security situation is one thing that our country needs for investors, to be free flow of investors. So if we can secure our own people, and every day BBC, other news carrying information that 5 persons died, this person died. Why will ex-president's sons be murdered like that? They just died, and no explanation for that. Security feels that it's not related to governmental issues now, so it's not something of paramount concern. But it's something of paramount concern that the security need to look at tightly, that we need to the security needs to reinforce their mandates and their tactics that they use to see how best safety and security can be restored back to our country. In likewise, we will not be able to find any good investment coming in. And if security is a high rate, it poses a lot of economic effects on Liberia that depend on donor funding. We hugely depend on donor funding. We hugely depend on fundings that come from outside, investment fundings and what have you. We don't have our own means of providing for ourselves. The little iron ore we have, iron ore price has dropped massively on the world market. We don't have a lot in production quantity. We don't have an ore in production quantity. So we can afford sustaining our own economy except for fundings that come from outside. So we have to create those security measures, to put in place those security measures that will be able to boost our economy. Because if we can't secure our own people, we can't secure investors.
It's true. It's true.
Wow. What a brilliant point there you just made. Gentlemen, are we running out of time, Gabriel, or we got only a maximum of 1 hour to go on this show? You think so?
Yeah, I think we have like 40 minutes to go. 40,
okay,
yeah,
40 minutes
we have
to go.
40 minutes to go.
Okay, so we get 10 more points. But let me make this point quickly, because like I've been out for almost 30 minutes. Victoria, welcome back. You look very tired. But I'm
not looking tired. I'm not looking tired. I was in the bike and I kept sending messages. No one wants to answer me. I'm not tired. I'm not tired. I'm angry.
She's like, she get job.
We can talk that in close though.
No, but
you know, anyway.
Why are we in disagreement? I'm angry. I'm not tired. You should not speak. You should not second guess me. Don't second guess me.
The CEO pulling your leg. That's good.
Anyway, maybe she want to join McCarthy camp, but anyway, I know you're a strong lady.
No,
yeah, gentlemen, McCarthy is here. Yeah, gentlemen, you know, like I was saying earlier, my first point I made, Liberia is our country. This country is for us all. Whether you're a black man, you're a white man, or you're from whatsoever tribe, we are all Liberians. And you know, sometimes we should not sugarcoat things. The way we see it, let us talk the way we see it. Gentlemen, a lot of worse things can happen in America. A child can wake up today and kill his mother, it will be on BBC. A man, look at the musician R. Kelly that's in prison today. One of the, the best musician in America. We all know about R&B star. You see, in America, there's nothing hidden. There's no secret about it. So why is it when we reach to Africa or our country, then we want to keep it out a secret? Oh, you know, you cannot discuss about a country on social media before people feel XYZ. Are you killing me? So how can change be made if we cannot speak? Oh, Jesus Christ of Nazareth. How can change be made if we cannot speak to these issues that are happening? There's no security in Liberia. Absolutely, there's no security in Liberia. And there's something we should all talk about. Because at the end of the day, some of us want to go back home. I need to have fun time with our family. How can we have the fun time when we do not have the security? Gentlemen, y'all stop calling my personal phone, man. The number is on the screen to call. You got to stop. Or I will block some of you guys. The number on the screen to call the number that's on the screen and put your call through. Don't call my personal phone, please. You are disturbing me. You are distracting me from the discussion. So like I was saying, let me just make my point quickly, then we can go around the table quickly again, gentlemen. Let us not sugarcoat anything the way we see it. Let us say it the way we see it. Because even in the Western world, the people also do the same. Nothing will happen. They will keep it and say, oh, they don't want to spoil or tarnish the USA reputation for people to look at it. Who I don't know that killing going in America area. Look at the issue of George Floyd. That black American guy who was killed. We all saw the video. And at the end of the day, it attracted the entire world. What's happening in America? The people talk about it, they discuss it. So why when it comes to Liberia, they don't want to shoot up and want to say, oh, gentlemen, or why you got disturbed? Why you got talking about your country? You want to invest. Hey, investors don't want to come. Let them don't come. Who told you, investor country that evil don't goes on there? There is no security in Liberia. The first thing the police, the securities, they are making nothing. At the end of the day, how can that man who making $75 or $100, be able to protect even his own family before the country?
So
the government need to step out the game. The government need to step out the game. There's a lot of things they need to work on to be able to make the country a safe place for you and myself, my brother. Sometimes after working hard, we want to go back home to spend at least a month with our family back home and enjoy ourselves. But if you're not safe back home, trust me, you don't want to go. I want to reason with some people who spend about 30 years or 40 years abroad and don't want to go back home because all of these things that keep happening over and over again. So let me stop right there and then we can go around the table.
Yeah, CEO. We just got Emmanuel Charles. So he talked about, I think somebody mentioned the dual citizenship issue, and he asked the question if anyone have tested that dual citizenship with Liberia. So he gave an instance of a person that just flew from the U.S., never had a Liberian. He's a born Liberian citizen, born in Liberia, but he got a U.S. citizen. He went to the airport, but he never had a visa in his passport, still thinking he would enter the country being a Liberian, right? And he said his cousin was stopped at the airport, and they asked him to return because he don't have Liberia visa in his passport. So at the end of the day, he had to bribe it way through. So that was Emmanuel Charles giving that instance. I know somebody talk about the dual citizenship issue have been resolved and all of that, but that was just one instance. So
but the first thing there, when did that guy travel to Liberia?
He said last week. He said last week. Yeah.
Yeah, but there is something. I don't want to believe that it's in full swing right now. Maybe perhaps a month from now, or maybe next year it will be in full swing. Because whenever a referendum go on, at the end of the day, it have to take those trends. So at the end of the day, it can be acted into law.
That was
Yeah,
not a referendum. That was not a referendum. That was
For the Supreme Court.
a Supreme Court
Yeah,
mandate.
the referendum didn't go through.
Yeah. A communication
So,
from the
guys,
Supreme Court to the legislature.
They voted against it.
You know,
In
yeah.
the referendum, they voted against it. Liberian people voted. Liberian people.
That was a ruling from the Supreme Court.
And the
I
Liberian
know.
people will not just vote against it. We have a high number of illiterate people in Liberia. So the people, the opponents to that bill, make sure they massively campaign to make sure that the common people don't understand the significance of voting for. So they vote against it.
So Henry Stewart just clarified. He said it was a court order.
Yeah, it's a court order from the Supreme Court.
The Supreme Court, yeah. So it wasn't a referendum. So,
Yes, and communication was sent to the legislature on that ruling.
CEO, I want to ask a question there when it comes to the issues of security, and I don't want it to seem like we're trying to sugarcoat something for the government or to back the CDC government, but I want us to take a country for example. Let's use country as a steady case that have a system like Liberia have, that have a safe environment. And let's use another one as a case study to see the amount of work that the police put in and the amount of work that technology and other things apply to the system. Then we can be able to blame our government, because there is no country in the world or that will be in the world like Liberia that don't have equipment when it comes to security that will give a result, a positive result. Let's look at a country like Korea. The police just do like maybe 1% of the job just to investigate or just to issue you a ticket. But the camera in this country, the camera do almost all the work and just submit the information to the database, and the people just make money out of the crime. Any crime you commit, you just pay penalty for the crime. So if you look at Liberia, you expect for a policeman with his own eyes or walking along the street to collect all the information when it comes to murder, it comes to armed robbing, all the other things, to chase all the people. So we should be looking at our position as a country, what we have on hand. What are those equipment that we have? We don't have anything. So we should be giving recommendation or trying to put in a system that will help us to fight against crime. You understand? So that's just my point on that.
Okay, gentlemen, we will take 1 minute, please. One minute, please, gentlemen. We will take two more points from every one of us.
CEO in charge.
Then, of course, we will be able. Then, of course, we'll be able. I mean, while we are explaining or making our point, if there is any call from the audience, trust me, we're going to take this call. Then we will get back to you. So, gentlemen, we'll give every one of us at least two. I mean, we'll give every one of us the time to make 2 points each. So, we'd like to start from the female, gentlemen. Let us start the new table over again. Over and over again. So, gentlemen, let's go quickly to Madam Victoria Williams. We'll go to you quickly. Then we go left, right, and just like that. And then everybody make their 2 points each. Let's go to you quickly. On the issue of what's on your mind. What's another thing on your mind about our country, Mama Liberia?
This is not another thing. I listened to my friend and brother Imaya Dinukar during expose. He made some points that I did fall with him, and I just want to get the record clear right now. He made an analysis that looking at smaller counties and bigger counties, that was trying to look at the population. And he said there are budgetary allocation to those counties that are not, fair. That is not favorable to other counties. And actually, while you are trying to talk about Mr. Deluka, you're trying to talk about the county development fund. My concern that I raised, I was not about national military. I was not talking about county development fund. I was talking about the concession agreement, because if a concession agreement go on in a particular countries where that identical company is functioning, then as funds are allocated to that country based on the mineral that is being extracted from that country. And the people at the direct beneficiary, they are to be informed, they are to be part of that agreement, to know what in that agreement. It's not a secret document. Why our government holding those documents? It is in the favor of the people. We saw the first agreement. Our people say living actual property. They are slaves within their own country. They are not enjoying the natural resources of that country. They are not. Their lives are not improving. And while we put government into power, the government is for the people, by the people, and of the people. They are our direct representatives. They are to speak on behalf of us. If they are not doing these things, we might checkmate them. So, for that aspect, it's not county development fund. It's concession, and our people have the right to benefit from those concessions. Our people have the right for their lives to change under those concessions. They have the right to education under those concessions. They have the right to health under those concessions. They have the right to roads and infrastructure under those concessions. That is my point. If these things are in the concession, the government should reveal those documents. They are not secret documents, they are public documents. Then my next issue, you talk about we should not blame the government on security situation.
Let's do it one at a time, Victoria, please. Let's do it one at a time. When you're done with the first one, then we go around, then we'll come back.
Okay.
Yeah, two, definitely two, but let's do it one at a time, please.
Then
okay, thanks a lot for that point. Danuka, I don't know why you're so I don't want to say concerned, but I know you are dying in body.
Sorry for holding you in the back. I thought I was Makate. Sorry.
So I don't want you to say something.
Okay, so let's go directly opposite Victoria. Let's go to Fangalo. My brother, what's your next point on your mind about our country, Liberia?
What is on my mind? And for me, anywhere there is lack of security, you find all these things happening. When it comes to how you call it, killing, mysterious people getting missing mysteriously, all the different things. For me, that's my concern today. So I will dwell with, I'll go into that aspect. We had ECOMOG in Liberia. Let me go back years back for some of you guys who can recall. We had ECOMOG in Liberia where we had all the Vera Warren faction and things were scatter, and we still had some form of security. And this is where I come into play. People say, oh, the government lacking resources, that you are trying to politicize things. Well, with all the above, one thing that I think that can be implemented to help our people right now, since we cry and say, oh, the government got money or the security force, the security sector don't have resources, we can come back with the issue of vigilante. Empower the people in the community, whistleblowers, you know what I mean? But streamline it, you know what I'm saying? Right now, we cannot say, oh, let the government try to give responsible citizens arms or weapon order, because guess what? Don't forget, we still have cache of weapons in our country that people have not even seen. We go into some of the rainforests of Nima County, Lofa County, some of the places that daylight can't say shine in the day. We still got weapons in those places. So you cannot say we're giving people weapons in that place to protect themselves, because the standard that America and the other countries around the world they possess that give people leverage to having weapons to protect themselves, we are far behind from having that system in Liberia. So with this being said, we can have vigilante in every community, in every section, with either the community head sparing it or the chief or whosoever in that community to spare it, to see how best we can reduce or minimize this mysterious killing and getting people missing in that place. People say, oh, boyo. They say, oh, Boyo happened before back in the days. Yes, Boyo happened back in the days. But guess what? Boyo wasn't happening openly like this. We have Boyo happening, but it was minimized to the fullest. But right now, the Boyo happening, I cannot be in my house and you can't keep me inside Boyo. It's not Boyo. I cannot be going to work and I sit there in my car and they come and find me in my car dead. Then they say that Boyo, that's not Boyo. Something is happening, and we need to have whistleblowers. We need to have vigilante to curtail these things that are happening. It is possible. It is possible.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Our brother is reminding us about the vigilante group that we once had before in Liberia. I remember during my youthful time, we have vigilante group. We used to stay up to sometime 4 o'clock in the morning. And we know what used to happen. We'll be drinking our tea and eating bread and guys will fall asleep. So that's it. And I mean, for me, any country that has security, will have police and other security apparatus, there's no need of vigilante group. But whenever things are going on, people losing their life, then there is a need. It's necessary for the citizen themselves to protect them, to protect their community. Once the government is not able anymore to protect its citizens, the citizens have to protect themselves. So let's go to the next person. Let's go to T-Max. We'll go to Gabriel, and then we'll come to Madam Fuller, and then Advisor, and then McCarthy.
Yeah.
T-Max?
I just want to thank my comrade Fangalo for bringing on that very salient point when he talked about vigilante. And those days, I remember I was one of those young vigilante in the community, and we went as far as arresting armed robbers, like guys with no arm, just our low cutlasses and all that stuff. But we were able to arrest people who were involved in armed robbery in the community, arrest them, not just one, but all of them, and took them to book. Even though the rest of the story was history, but it was one of our biggest achievement, because after that arrest, the community went quiet for a long time. So he got a very salient point. That's something the government needs to look into. If they don't have the capacity and the resources to protect their citizens, they should be looking at doing something like that, working with the community, organizing community leaders, putting the young people together. They don't have to give them weapons, but they can just have, a normal patrol. They have checkpoints in certain areas, and, give them little logistics for, little tea and stuff for them to keep the young kids up. When I was young, it was like fun to me. I didn't want to pay. It was not like something was being paid, but I mean, we had so much gratitude from the older folks when they wake up in the morning and see us, trying to get our stuff together to leave. And I think we used to receive some low token from the elderly people in the community weekly, Monday, because we were so impressed with the work we were doing. So I think that's something the government can also look into. I know the CEO wants us to address, but our viewers are complaining that we need to read some of their comments and address some of it. I know Emmanuel Charles is saying that next month we have thousands of Liberians going to Liberia. So he really wanted us to talk about this dual citizenship thing, because he feels like it's something that a lot of Liberians are looking forward to and looking to see if it's actually going to work, especially Liberian in the diaspora. So I was just giving a heads up, but that's what Emmanuel Charles is saying. CEO, that's it from my end for now.
Okay, let's go to team. Let's go to Gabriel. Gabriel, quickly. Yeah, we're gonna read out more comments when we come back. So Gabriel, go ahead quickly. Make your point, my brother.
So thank you so much. I think more have been said about the security, but let also go to the economy, and also that also security issue as well. Of late, we are seeing that there have been inconsistency or just a rapid decrease, or there have been, the USD has actually lost its significance, and we don't know the actual cause of this, and it's actually bringing economic hardship to our people. So, but the question here is that, I don't want to sound too economical here tonight, but in economics, they said the higher the supply, the lower the demand. So now we are seeing that, I mean, people are not really demanding for USD. So we really want to know where is the USD coming from? Is it that there are more, remittance into the country, or like my brother Fangalo said, is it that we have more goods, or we are exporting more goods, we are producing more goods, and we are exporting, and our balance of payment has increased? Because when your balance of payment increases, it means that you are made more goods and also sold to the to the outside world. Then from there you have more US coming in. Then from there, the USD will drop. It will lose its value. Is it that we are not seeing it? There have been no foreign direct investment. We are not seeing new companies going to the country. Is where I mean, what is actually causing the decline in the rate? Is this an artificial something that is just done intentionally just to to strangulate our people in the pool of poverty? We really have to look at it, because people are just saying, USD is, they say the rate is going down, the rate is going down, but prices remain stable. In fact, prices are going up. If you are paying your child's school fees, you have to. In fact, schools are not even accepting or USD these days. They are. I mean, the liberty is more significant. The Liberian dollar is even more significant than the US. What is causing the decline or the loss of demand let's say for the US dollars? They say that I mean, all of us here, because all of us here, we are in that. They say that we are sending so much money back home, that the USD is so much in the country that people don't want US again? Or is it that, I mean, Liberian, we are not buying rice again, we are buying all the money that we're using to buy rice, we are just buying from local farmers? Is it that we can feed ourselves now? What is actually happening? Or we are buying locally more? So I mean, it is not actually, from an economic standpoint, it is not actually, it's not actually realistic. This is not real, this is not natural. It's something like, is intentionally going to actually strangulate the people. So we really have to look at it. So if it is done for political reasons, then I would say there's complete wickedness, because it's actually causing economic hardship. For those of all here, if anybody call you now, I mean, school has opened. I mean, you hear, I mean, things prices have just gone up so high because of the rate. So,
but actually, Gabriel, you guys, I mean, you're a business student, so you guys should be the one making us to understand exactly what, because of I mean, the US rate is just fluctuating today. But they're having to be a regular thing now in Liberia. Every time when December is approaching, because I think the people get to know that December comes in the numbers in Liberia. So whenever December is approaching, you see the US rate always drop, so that US dollar can be devalued, and then the Liberian dollar can have more value on the market. But you guys who are business students, you have to make us to understand.
What will happen? What will actually happen? See, I'm not cutting you. There's something we call holding. People will just hold the money or hold the product to create that artificial such scarcity, which is so bad too. It is the work of the government to actually sort those people out and actually make sure that, I mean, because those people are crippling the economy. And if they cripple the economy, they see insecurity rate also rise up. When poverty is so much, you see that the crime rate increase. Because people become so strangulated, and the next thing they will think about is thinking about evil things. So artificial shortages are very real. Yeah.
Okay, let's go to Madam Fuller quickly. We know you got a lot of things on your mind, but you can tell those most important ones so that the public can get to know what's going on. Madam Fuller.
Thank you so much. My point this morning again is about the security situation. And my major concern is food insecurity in Liberia. How can we adequately handle food insecurity? That is one of my major concerns, because a nation that feels its people well grow their mentality, because or hungry men or angry men or angry men cannot, their reasonings are impaired. So they would easily be influenced by anything. Any little thing can influence them. So the increase of crime rates will be high based on food insecurity. People are not able to sustain. How can the government attract back private sector investment? like going back to the soil, like Turbo did, matrix,
Yeah.
going back to the soil. How can they attract private investments? They have counties. Like Lofa County was one of the self-sufficient counties that even used to supply basic goods to the entire region. Bon County. How can we encourage those things back? Because we can't just be, our attention can't just be about outside. Yes, it is good for investments to come from outside, but what attracts investment? If security is not coexisting, how can we be able to attract investment? How can we secure our people when the economy is not flourishing? The economy has to flourish.
Exactly.
How can we do all these things? Government could buy tractors, send to local farmers. They send people there to monitor it. Instead of taking money and booklessly wasting it and saying we will import rice and give it free, will you be able to sustain that? We are giving the locals food for this month, from this period to this period. Will you be able to sustain that? I work closely with the WFP food program, the World Food Program in the Northern region, in Cape Mount County and Bomi County. And those counties, if you look at those county statistics, they have a good landscape. They have good tourism that could attract investors. Why are those places being wasted? Instead of government sending money in the diaspora to save, why can't you invest? Then it boils down to security. If I try to invest, will my investment be secure? Many Liberians in the diaspora, you see Nigeria, the first thing Nigerians think about to do is to build a house in their hometown. They will tell you, I have my compound in my hometown. Why we can't practice that? People feel insecure that if I do something in my hometown, I will be haunted. People will look at me. People will start to chase me. Somebody I could remember 2 years back, a male who worked in the US for a lot, sent his money back home, established his business in the entertainment center in his house. He just went back down for vacation 2 times. The third one, they killed him in his house, they say it was carbon monoxide.
Wow.
Security didn't go forward to even investigate if it is indeed carbon monoxide. We talked about equipment of the security. How would this security be equipped when they're standing on the street taking $5 and $10 from drivers who should be the medium of transporting illicit goods? Illegal substances that impair our kids' reasoning, that when somebody tells them take gun to go shoot, the influx of substances, illegal substances in Liberia, because we have poorer borders. Our poorer borders being protected. I travel along the northern region. Most of our poorer borders are not protected. People take illegal substances from in Asia and other countries. They send to Sierra Leone. They know that in the there, I will use where's the crossing point with Pino. I will pass through Gwese over the river and carry it in Liberia.
Wow.
I will use Bombarda Salamu and carry it to Liberia. I will use this other place and carry it to Liberia. How can we secure our poorer borders? Most of the killings are going on. It may not be even Liberians. It could be Guinea.
So what's your recommendation to the government?
They should be able to secure Liberians first by providing and hugely investing in our private sector to provide food insecurity for Liberians. That's one. 2, they should be able to protect our poorer borders. That criminals will not, the influx of criminals from other countries will not just come in. Criminals come from Sierra Leone, they do what they want to do and go back. People contract criminals from Guinea, they do what they want to do and go back. They use they counter and Guinea and borders and other borders and go back. So we don't even have a right demographic to even trace our people, that if this man was a criminal back, I will go back in the system and trace and link this crime to this man and see how best we can part of this crime. Because if you know how many times this man have violated, how many times this man have been caught in this app, you can trace a crime to a criminal if you have a good demographic system, if you have a good security networking system. That if this man have committed crime before, you spoke about other countries that security cameras are there. You don't need to talk.
Yeah.
You don't need
Definitely.
to talk. The last time I overspeed, they sent me $480 bill. I didn't know I even overspeed. I just went above 10. And they sent me $480. I had to pay. So how can all those things are even media or revenue generation? If somebody violates speed, they pay, that goes to the transport sector, it goes to the rehabilitation of roads. So how can we put these things back to place? There should be a kind of government that will sit down and think that we build Liberia. It's not just by mouthing Liberia, build Liberia. No. It should be by implementation and actions.
Okay, let me hold you right there because you gave me a lot of knowledge. We will come back again to ask final questions from every one of us. Then we'll call it a day. If our audience don't participate by putting in a call, then we'll call it a day. So let's go to Makati. Makati quickly, then we'll go to Evaxa. Makati, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you finally here.
Makati, you eat smoothie?
Yeah, man. You know, I want to assign you to foreign affair or the how they call it immigration. So because for your expose, I know that you are ready assigned now to be our immigration officer. Yeah. Anyway, I appreciate the level of interaction we're having, especially regarding our country. It's important to understand all of the sectors, the responsibility that we have as Liberians. We see that the civil society have a role to play. All other sectors of that country have a key role to play in protecting. Also, the diaspora Liberians will also have a role. And everybody else have to have his or her hand on the deck, because that country cannot be developed in the absence of our collective effort. Despite government will institute all of the measures, if the citizens don't take responsibility, it's difficult to actualize those things. I give you an instance. I was one of those that joined Madam Bro in the execution of the first Saturday program. I introduced the first youth organization that joined that process. And our concept was that we can have an environment free of that kind of situation that we just experienced by other foreign countries just accusing our country that we are not cleaning our country. We joined the city corporation to ensure that we beef our government efforts so that we can have a clean environment. In that way, many organizations begin to join as a result of that action we took. And it was gaining ground. So the government needs to look at.
I'm not hearing you guys.
Oh, you are not hearing us?
No, go ahead. Just be a little audible to answer Makati. Go ahead. Just be a little audible. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. The issue regarding our responsibility cut across every other individual effort that we need to make, like even the legislature. All of the security issue, they need to play a role. They need to call those people responsible to question them periodically, to understand what is happening with the security sector, the business sector. Call the people responsible. Call them, let them come and make periodic report, because you are the direct representation of the people. So all of these things cannot be happening, and the people are having their fast salary taken every day, and they are not doing anything towards that. They need to checkmate each other. The three branches of government need to checkmate each other. What is the judiciary doing? What is the legislature doing and the executive? Are they really working and correlating everything together for the benefit of the people? These are questions that we need to look at. If this coordination are really taking place and coordinated, then even issue of people going back, like what you said, to their counties, this should be the first example of the legislature because the representatives are the representation of the people. They should have their first house in their country. They should go there every weekend and come back to work every Monday. So it shows example that people can go to their hometown and build houses. So we need to start working there on that. We need to pass laws, or we need to put policy into place that can be able to draft that. Not just policy, but it should be implemented. People who stay at a different border, when they are taking money, they should take it for the country, not to put it in their pockets. You are public servant. You should not take government money for your own sake. These are education that we need to provide from a holistic perspective, not just blaming government all the time. But what is our action when you come from out? We go to other countries. When we go to the people immigration, we obey them. When we come to our country, we begin to lash at our own security sector. We begin to look down at them, which is not a good citizen responsibility that you need to take. You need to respect the security. So those are things that we need to look at. It's a real cultural issue that we need to revisit and overhaul everything together. It requires investment and complete commitment to the process. People from all walks of life, all of the sectors must be involved in the process.
Okay, thank you so much, McCarthy. There. Let's hear from the advisor. Then we will take one last comment from every one of us. Then we'll cut it a day because we're running out of time.
Yeah, thank you, CEO, once again, for giving me the time to talk about issues concerning mainly the Asara Meta issue. And yeah, I would like to, because my colleague there, she mentioned something on the people living within the geographical location where the company basing they should benefit and what have you. And I want you to know that the people are benefiting from Asara Meta, and it's just that the information is not really going around. Well, as we speak, the government is doing well in Nima. And the government, yes, the government is doing well. Asara Meta is doing well. We have information that coming out from Asara Meta and both the government. And the government, Asara Meta had sat down with the Nimbadian, the elders, the senators. They have sat down, and talk and lay their platform, what they want, so there are a lot of things that were going on, and the government, both Asara Meta, the government, and the Nimbadian people. But you see, what we have in Nema, we had a lay political opposition black that have certain things within their mind. Like, for instance, I was watching Nema TV the gone time, and there was a representative, I think from District 8 or one of the districts, that was saying, he clearly stated that if Prince Johnson win this identical coming election 2023, they must divide Nema County. Just like that. You understand? He just made that statement that if a contestant win, they must divide the county. Why? Why do you want to divide Nema? Why? Is it because someone win the election? So if you look at the road from Sani Kore to Ganto, Asara Meta pumped in 40 million for that road. If you see from Ban to where is that District 6, I think the government is doing well. And I want you to know that the money that Asara Meta pumping into Liberia is not only, we can't use the money only for Nema alone. And if you look at, like what I told you, look at District 1. The government just gave District 1 $50 million Liberian dollars when it comes to that education stuff. And the whole entire Bapolu County, they gave them $30 million Liberian dollars. So Nema is benefiting a lot. They are pushing the agenda for the Nimbadians to benefit from what Asara Meta is doing in Liberia. But we have some opposition
let me interrupt you there a little bit. How you going? Let me interrupt you a little bit, advisor. When you say the government is doing well for the people of Nema County, if we all can look at the population of Nema County, it is roughly around maybe 2 million plus Liberians. How can you say that the government is doing well when the people of Nima still suffering from getting safe drinking water? How can you say the government is doing well when the people of Nima they do not have jobs? How can you say that the government is doing well when the people of Nima do not have hospitals? That people drive, maybe walk about 3 to 4 hours to take somebody to the hospital. How can you say the government is doing well?
CEO, let me tell you something. You cannot make those type of statement when it comes to Nima. Nima passed that stage of safe drinking water. Nima passed that stage of suffering to go to hospital. We have all those things in place. Let me tell you something.
No, Black, don't kill me.
Hey, check it right there. No. You cannot be making sweeping statement like that and expect. No, this is an open platform. Point of correction. I am a son, and I am an eminent son of Nima County. I was just in Nima County less than 4 years ago. When was the last time you went to Nima County?
Listen to me, my brother.
No, when was the last time you're in Nima County? You cannot make this kind of sweeping statement and expect it to pass like this. Now, Mital Steel, slow down. Mital Steel is no. Slow down. You had the flow. 1 second.
Okay, Mital Steel
is based in Ramco, and besides that, the Yikepa they are stationed in. If you look at where they are stationed right now, if you look at the railroads.
Fangalo, let's take the call, please. Let's get the call of the priority. Let's take the call, please.
No problem.
We have
go ahead, T-Mac.
Yeah, we have Gary McCall calling from Rhode Island, USA. Go ahead, Gary.
Yeah, hello.
Go ahead.
Yeah, hello. Good morning there. Make your point.
Yeah. First of all, there's a lot of things to talk about. I will start with security. When you talk about a lot of killing like CEO, Mayor, killing America, killing Liberia, what we really want is investigation. The undertone of all the killing in Liberia, majority are politically motivated, which the past the police to investigate because while the investigation are being controlled by political elite. Take for example the killing of Attorney from the center of the killing him when the 16 billion investigation of Wuhan, which he has a clue he wanted to expose. Look at the 4 missing, the 3 missing bodies. There was the prime suspect who is important, but because of governmental connection, they never ever call him for questioning or whatsoever. So when you compare killing in America to killing in Liberia, like last time he said that they were shooting to a festival for police are there investigating, taking sample, interviewing people. That's what we want to see. But in Liberia, it's not happening. They're getting on, there's no investigation at all. And I must tell you, the 2 killings that went on with the 2 former presidents, they were driven to another side. We killed 13 fighting for corruption, which put a curse on our country from day one. And look at today, their sons have been killed like that. And then follow history. Every time leadership comes from the top, they go to Magma, secret killing, political killing. Look at the trumpet days. Look at the Samuel days. And look at Georgia days now. And if you're talking about like that corner, talking about the experience with democracy and senators and that and stuff, we are looking at what on paper. That when you call council of either common paper, either something, it's either benefiting, but it's common people not benefiting for that. And then you want agreement too. Agreement should be you want to benefit the people. And what we read from paper, and some men that had their first half, which is like a football game. They had a first half contract. This was second half, the new government started. Now he put in certain things that were not there in the first contract. They didn't do it. They got bribed and signed the agreement, but the one that on paper does not match the agreement on ground. So these are some of the things we're talking. And to invade this platform is one of the platforms that got highly educated, like by 2 police in there. They are knowledgeable in security in Liberia, and they very motivated. So that's why I let them take part in the program, because I see people there that are trust that know about happening in Liberia, and when they tell happening in Liberia because all of us here not more than 10 years. We were here, we were in the spirit of water, we know what used to go on there. So when you're talking about killing, is killing and politically motivated, that's why they are not being investigated. It's not that the police they pass it there. When they steal cell phone from you, police may want to follow and know where that cell phone went and DJ operator. They know there's very certificate. Like bro, it's very small. The police won't know where those things are happening. Take for example, when the citizen government going to power, they train 119 policies. Just a fast track training according to the police force.
Let the caller make a final point now because we're running out of time. Caller, can you just make your final point so that we can?
Yeah, he's making his final point.
Bottom line on everything here, the busy things going the way it's going. The government have not graduated from the state of running a party to running a government. The state thing is running a party. Everything should be party, politically motivated. So that's what I'm saying. That's my point. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Comrade Gary McCall. He calls from Rhode Island, United States. Thank you for making your point. We highly appreciate it.
My question to the advisor is: if you say everything is okay in Nima and all, that's it. Meta is doing everything. So why is it that the devils are all out? The devils are always in the bush. Why are they out now?
Let me hold you right there. Let me hold you up. Januka, let me hold you right there. Januka, please.
Why are you holding me? Why are you holding me?
Yeah, take the call, T-Max. Take the call.
We have our brother Lincoln Stewart from the great city of Pennsylvania, and he's called to make his contribution. Go ahead, Stewart.
Blah, don't worry, you make your point. Let's take the call.
Yeah, don't worry. No, the government is working, my brother.
Go ahead. I'm listening.
What issue about development in Liberia is that the people must be a part of it.
I mean, that caller is not that clear, man. We're not hearing him clearly.
Can you be more audible?
Okay, hold on. Can you hear me now?
Go ahead.
Yeah, we're getting.
Yeah, they're getting you now.
Yes. My issue about development in the country is that the people must be a part of it. All right? They must contribute, not just to benefit. All right? You see in America, the U.S. president, he pays salary. If we don't pay taxes, he doesn't get this. That's a system, So, and then something else that I want to touch on is what are we doing for in Liberia? Liberians are doing for hospitality, So that is somewhere we can focus our attention and attract investors, tourists, because and by doing that we can create employment, we can create a high volume of jobs. Gentlemen, let me be frank. The Liberia we see today is at least Liberia that we do, because I know nowadays people used to get arrested for just being in the street midnight or all night.
Okay.
So there are a lot of good things we can do in our country that will create for people to come back home and invest. So let us not
Okay. Okay. I think that's enough from our caller there. Your point is well taken. Lincoln Stewart, your point is well taken.
Coming from Venezuela. I don't know. Who is that?
Okay, I said that call. Take that call quickly. Take the call.
Hello? Hello. Good.
Yeah, that game 30 seconds to make a point quickly. 30 seconds.
Did you call
We're running out of time.
The show? Okay.
I'm calling from Canada.
From Canada. Okay. You are live. So go ahead and make call your name and make your point.
Our first Canadian caller.
Yeah, my name is Bema Ellis.
Because Canadian represented.
You guys hearing me?
Yeah, go ahead. You live. Everybody getting you.
Yeah, so like you guys, what's happening in Liberia today, especially when it comes to this killing that is taking place in the country, it's concerning. And there's no way anybody can sit in your studio there to compare the killing in Liberia to that of anywhere in developing countries like America or Canada. Like one of the callers said, it is one way or other motivated by politics. And it's really on the government. What I say was really on the government is the government's failure to bring people to book that are doing this killing. Can you guys see the police director and the government, even if the government is not, it's not aware of this killing, but the government is importing these killers to carry on the killings of these citizens in this country. Because of the fact that the police director of the country will come and speak in such a way when evidence are showing all over the place. People are displaying dead bodies, how people have been totally murdered in this country, their part extracted, ritualistic killing, knowing the fact for the police director to go and sit on national radio station in studio to say nobody knows ritualistic killing going on in this country, that people, family members are dying and they are they're not able to bury them and they are throwing these bodies on the street. Can you imagine that? The police director, and he doesn't understand that he's threatening people. If anybody posts pictures of this dead body on social media, he'll be arrested. In serious country, the people encouraging the citizens there to report. They say, if you see something, say something, But instead, they're coming to threaten people when they see something and say something, they will be arrested.
Okay.
Under the Georgia government, it is sad. Things are happening in our country. It's unacceptable.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you very much, my brother, for calling, and we urge you to continue to follow the show and keep making your points. We appreciate it. Thank you. Your name again. I didn't get your name.
My name is Bema Ellis, calling from Edmonton, Canada.
Bema Ellis. Nice to meet you.
Bema Ellis there from Edmonton. That's a very great city there in Canada, Edmonton. So, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Okay, gentlemen, we
encourage a lot of Edmontonians to listen to this show.
It's already on the floor.
Also part of this platform.
Okay, thank you. So, Edmonton have the representative also here. That's a very great city there in Canada. So, gentlemen, we're running out of time.
The CEO.
We're running out of time. And so, we'll just give 30 seconds. Well, hold on 1 minute now, Blast. We'll just give 30 seconds to every one of us to make our point quickly, then we'll call it a day. So let's go back. Let's go back to Fangalo. Fangalo, you're making a point before the call scheming. So go ahead quickly. 30 seconds, please.
Yes, sir. I would tap on that and I'll come to my point. No. Now listen, gentlemen, let's respect the time now. 30 seconds. Come on, let's do something.
We had a quarter a day, gentlemen. We're burning daylight, bro.
Now you cannot. Now the thing is that to the brother's point, you cannot say Nima County is producing iron ore. Iron ore is being exported from Nima County, and Nima County is not getting anything. Look, let me tell you something. I went to Lamco Yekepa. I live in San Nicolas. I got a house in San Nicolas, and I know what is going on down there. What the county or what that section of the county is receiving is by far lower than what they're supposed to receive if you are exploiting that part of our county or that part of Liberia. You know what I'm saying? It is our house. We need to benefit more than anybody else, no matter how you look at it. Nima County is supposed to get If you look at 100%, Nimaka is supposed to have approximately 45%, and the rest be distributed among the other counties. Besides that, now looking at certain things in Liberia, let me come to my point. We talk about poverty.
You got 15 seconds already.
The WFP reported recently that 64% of Liberians live below poverty line. And I don't know what our government officials do read these unfolding events around the world, but poverty, where you find poverty, you find high level of crime. You find high level of a lot of things going on, and this is just a caveat to our people back home. If the government cannot do something and keep pushing our people to the wall, they shouldn't forget. You see Guinea right there? What happened in Guinea? Liberia is not an exception. Liberia is not an exception. It can happen. So we need to see how best we can focus on giving our people what they need. They need to represent us.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. So let's go quickly to Madam Fuller, then we'll go up, then Victoria, you will be the last.
One thing I would like to speak on another point will be the issue of the dual citizenship. That is vital. Every country, every developed country, every developed and improved country today have a dual citizenship. Or dual citizenship is almost like the issue of the open door policy. So if you have a dual citizenship, it also encourages Liberians that travel. Liberia is not the country that is able to provide job for everyone. So we shouldn't frown at people coming outside trying to look for greener pasture, naturalizing themselves, and we still boost the economy of Liberia. If you look at the GDP, the current GDP report of Liberia, Liberians living in the diaspora fundings, they fund the GDP hugely, 48%. Yes, from Liberians living outside of Liberia. 48% of Liberian GDP depends on diaspora Liberians. So if diaspora Liberians withdraw their support from family members and what have you, the 48% of the GDP drops. So if we are contributing immensely to the economy of Liberia, why can we be afforded the opportunity to have dual citizenship? Why?
Okay.
Is that 15 more seconds? My son is a U.S. citizen. Is it wrong that my son go back home and he's a Liberian as well and want to take public position and he be granted that public position like the days of whether our top or whether VS Tubman, they were born outside of Liberia and they were granted opportunity as well? Why are we just scrutinizing it now, not before?
You're a little audible.
So we just need to see reason to read and reaffirm ourselves and advocate on behalf of the dual citizenship.
Okay. Thank you so much. What, Timas, you got a caller there? Timas, you got a call? We're not hearing you. Can I go to Gabriel quickly? Hello?
I have a caller, but he can be going while I connect him. He was just calling.
Okay, Gabriel, make your point. Gentlemen, we're running out of time. Like I said, would you be out of here? No, you gotta hold on.
Let Emmanuel go on.
We cannot do this.
Let's take this call. Januga, please. We'll gather you right after the call. Please.
We have our senior brother and my uncle, Mr. Pee Besa, who was one of our guests, and he's calling from the great state of Minnesota, and he's here to contribute.
Okay, let's hear him quick. Let's give him at least 30 seconds.
30 seconds.
Welcome. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning, guys. You guys are discussing some of the critical issues today, and I thought that I'd here to add my voice to the discussion. Ritualistic killing, I mean, we got to look at this, zoom out. I call it zoom out the prospects of ritualistic killing in Liberia. Now, ritualistic killing is absolutely taking place in Liberia. There are people who are, engaged, and just to give you a little brief history, ritualistic killing is not new to Liberia. And ritualistic killing has been in Liberia from the day of William B.S. Tubman. So we are in tune to the reality of ritualistic killing in Liberia. However, there are other criminal activities that are taking place in Liberia that are being allied with ritualistic killing, which is unfortunate. There are also killings and perspective killings. I will call it killing of perceptions and criminal activities of perceptions. So if people see that Mr. Ibrahim Mazakwe looks like somebody who is going to call it like a ritual killer, they come after you without no investigation. They come after you without even knowing who you are, because they feel or thought that this man is a money man. He has a few dollars, so he's part of this whole ritualistic killing process in Liberia. And the citizenry have taken, jungle justice in their hands in Liberia as well. So people just go after people. I just, called yesterday. One doctor in Liberia was going about his normal activities, went to look for a place to find he and his family to live, to move. He went looking for a place, and the community people saw him early around communities. They assumed that he was there. He's a doctor, and the assumption was that he was there to collect people and use their parts, and they began to beat the gentleman. They beat the gentleman. The boss his toes, the boss his foot. They beat him. I mean, he's in the Catholic hospital as we speak. Again. All these
okay, so let me ask you the question, right? Let me hold you right there quickly, because I just want to ask you this question that you can respond in 15 seconds, because we're running out of time. Time is not in our favor right now. So you being a veteran journalist from Liberia, what the major advice you can give to this government that with the issue of jungle justice will be laid to rest, and then at least at the end of the day, we would trust our own security in our country like the Western security?
It's simple. It's just one sentence. Uphold the rule of law. Simple. If the government wants to mitigate these reports, these news, these killings in Liberia, people have to be brought to justice. The justice system has to be strengthened. The people who are perceived to have committed these crimes or have committed these killings need to be brought to justice. People who are right now in prison and have been there for a couple of months and a couple of years need to be brought to justice. You can't arrest people and put them behind bars on suspicions or on rumors, and you keep them there. Or you keep hearing that people are being killed in certain communities across Liberia, and the justice system is not working. There's no arrest. People go with impunity. That is no. You can have a country without justice. So my advice in just 15 seconds would be, you have to strengthen the justice system. The government should not be sitting down in Liberia talking about dual citizenship when a social component of the country is completely dead. They can't be sitting down talking about dual citizenship when we're talking about how our people's lives are to be saved and our people live in a community overnight. They cannot sleep. We can't be talking about how elections is coming next year when the people cannot even be saved. So you need to put in place those rudiments that will help to mitigate some of the problems that the government is facing. The government has to actually double up. Musa Dean, who was the Minister of Justice, needs to double up. If he cannot, move in and find somebody. I mean, people who are not efficient or effective, move them and find somebody who can do the job. And not the justice. Okay. Let me just give you a quick 1 minute thing. If you heard in fact, this week, President Biden is not calling. He said he will make sure that more crime and economic crime is in Liberia. So these people here are also calling for justice, not only for the common people, but for all Liberians. So the government needs to do more.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank
you so much for that.
Can I give my party comment to go? My eyes is hurting.
Thank you very much.
Yeah,
we appreciate your input, and we ask you to keep coming on and expressing your view on the Asia Life Diaspora Talk. Thank you so much, man. Love you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Okay.
See,
Okay, that was
my eyes is hurting.
Yeah, 1 minute is you will definitely give your parting statement. So to our caller there, Mr. Beza, thanks a lot for those brilliant points. We hope that the government listening so that they can be able to make adjustment in their job. I just want to get Victoria will get to you quickly. You can give your parting statement. So I just got a breaking news.
My eyes hurting. I have to leave. I don't know.
Yeah, you are right. 1 minute. Let me just give you breaking news. The Liberian government have offered 15,000 United States dollars for anyone who will report to the Liberian government information of the person who murdered the former president's son. 15,000 United States dollars the Liberian government have offered to anyone who will give a reliable information how to arrest the perpetrators. Will be awarded 15,000 United States dollars. So let's go to you, Victoria, because gentlemen, like I said, we're running out of time. So we can take maximum.
You are not trying to be fair on the show. Let me say this quick.
No, Danica, you will definitely make a point. But the problem here, we're running out of time.
You cannot have a panelist, 3 panelists issuing me a question based on the issues, and then you try to deviate and not to just. So what are you trying to do? We can come here and just say something against the government, and that's it.
You were saying your party statement, Mr.
So
Danica.
if somebody says something in favor of the government, then that person will not have the privilege to talk. No,
you are in charge.
We are not here as opposition. We are discussing issues that concerning the country, and we are discussing the issues in a form that we have to be a judge. You can't just come here.
That's why I want you to understand. That's why I want you to understand, Danica. Everybody on here is charged to their views.
Advisor, you got to slow down. You should be the last person going off. You should be the.
I know.
Everybody is charged to their views.
But the CEO, when you talk about the government is not doing well, you have more time to talk. When this is not, you have more time. But when you say the government is doing this, then you have less time to talk. I just want you to know that this is not opposition black.
No, this is not a point for that discussion. Advisor, you understand that we all share different political views.
I understand you think that. I want to understand
respect every individual view. But the thing is, let the CEO learn. If he had a little error, just correct him. We don't have to go back and forth on the show.
The thing that I wanted Advisor to understand, T-Max, the reason we put you on hold was because we have callers. We decided to give the callers, the priority to make their call, to put their points through. And then after Victoria, she's kind of dropping off and she want to rest. So we want her to put her points through. Advisor, you are entitled to your opinion. Nobody can stop you from giving your views.
Continue, but this
platform is for Liberians in totality. No specific Liberian, neither political affiliation or color.
Make the country of the all proceed.
Yeah, I think you all so Victoria, go ahead.
My eyes is hurting me terribly.
Yeah, so but you will still be in the background to call it. So go ahead.
No, I will leave. I want to go rest because my eyes hurting. Okay.
Yeah. Go ahead. Make your point quickly. We have maximum 10 minutes to go.
To give some suggestion to remedy some of my claim against the government, against some problems that within our government. And Mr. Bisa just touched one. One of my recommendations is for the judiciary to restore trust and confidence with the people. I think our judiciary system lack that trust and confidence from the Liberian people. There's a need for the re-strengthening. Musa Dean, that position as justice minister is not a sleeping position. It's a very strong arm of the government. There's a need that they restore that trust and confidence. And I think if the trust and confidence is restored within the judiciary, the security apparatus will be stable. And there's a need also for our government to see reason. At least one quarter said to at least cut down their salary legislatures at least 10 to 15%. And there are a lot of board members. There are a lot of boards that are They're not even working, and board members are taking huge sum of money. Let them cut down board members and then strengthen our security sector, because if our security sector is more strengthened, we will find our private investment. More Liberians in the diaspora will be confident enough to invest. Like one of my friends, he doing a whole housing real estate within Ghana. He from Liberia in the U.S. Army, and I asked him why you did this in Ghana, and he told me, Ghana democracy is stable, Ghana security is stable. This is why I took my investment there. And I think he have a point, because no one would like to invest in a country that is unstable. So, when there are private investment, the economy will boost, right? It will boost the economy, because we find a lot of concession over the year from Entitlement Day. A lot of concession have come and go, and when they go, the whole concession area remain dormant. Like for example, Lanco, the Beaumont, and when they leave, there is nothing accountable, because these concessions come into our country. They don't build factory. They take our raw material, carry it, and when they finish, there is totally zero balance. Like in the concession agreement, let there be something for factory. Let them build companies, extract the raw material, have a production start within the country. Those things will help to boost our economy. But just taking extracting raw material and going, and after then leaving the country, it won't help our economy. And there's a need also to do away with the dual currency. There's a need our central bank, the central bank, and how to call it, director, the finance minister, the president as a whole. There's a need for to revisit the dual currency issue. I don't think it's helping us. Actually, it's not helping us. There will always be inflation, and between those two currencies, sometimes one will go up, sometimes one will come down, because we cannot just, a small country like Liberia, we cannot uphold toward currency. It's not good for our economy. So I beg you guys, please, my eyes is giving me problem. Good night to you all.
Okay, thank you so much. You have a one. No, we'll be comparing the background, definitely. So let's get the look at the time. Gentlemen, like I said, let's get use maximum 5 minutes the corridor of the day. We're running out of time. It's almost
we got time. We got time. Look, CEO, we have time. Look, CEO, yeah, CEO, this is the thing.
Make your point to the public, not the CEO, Chief.
Yeah, no.
We don't have time, because if we carry the show a longer hour, it makes viewers very bored. So we just have to put our point in or kind of space, man. People will not be bored listening to us.
Here's the thing. My message is very, very clear. We are here as a panel to give in our input, send our point in for the audience to judge. And we cannot come here and say nothing good is happening in Liberia. And as for me, as a panelist, I will also say what is happening in Liberia and what is not happening. So we have to be clear to the point. We had 3 questions coming to me, and that 3 questions, our CEO tried to play a little politics with that, but that is something that we'll discuss in the back. But I would like to say, we will come here, discuss good things that are happening in Liberia, And the government is doing well in places that are named. And when I make the statement that NEMA have all of what the CEO said NEMA don't have, I was doing a comparison in Liberia. Name me any countries in Liberia that have yellow machines that all over the place, greater in rows. Name me any countries that have hospital like a $3 million hospital that Jeremiah Kun just built and gave to the government. Name me a city in Liberia that is booming day and night, Leganto. So we have a lot of things that are happening in NEMA, good things that the government is putting into place that we can. Mozzarella don't have a stable current like Leganto. So we have to say all of these things. Name me how many countries in Liberia that have 40 million that are connecting a short road there. So we have a lot of good things that the government is doing. So when we come here, we have to say other things as other people too will be giving their point on how they feel about the government operation. So we should be given the time to explain to you people what the government is doing. So that point is very clear. And even if we will have the time to meet on the platform to discuss the issue of what the government is doing and what the government is not doing, we can also schedule that arrangement.
Yes, we will do that. We will do that definitely. Yes, yeah. Okay, let's go to Gabriel, then we'll go to T-Max, then we'll call it a day. Gabriel, quickly.
Okay, thank you so much. I would like to thank everybody, but it's true. We cannot just sit here and just publicly state that the government is not doing anything. But again, if we really look at it, I mean, there are so many us. There are so many us, and we are listening to people. I mean, we are all in the diaspora, but if you listen to people from back home, you will definitely know that. I mean, sometimes it's so emotional. It's so emotional to listen to people from back home. Let me tell you something. Right now, if we look at our country, people, Liberia is almost like, I mean, we are so reliant on foreign investors. But first, let's look at it. Let's look at the investment indicator. There's something called investment indicator. First, let's look at, do we have stable current? We don't have stable current. Do we have electricity? Do we have security? We don't have security. People are being murdered here and there. I mean, look at the economic system. Inflation is very high. I mean, the fluctuation, scarcity of Liberian dollars. If you see it, I mean, there's something artificial shortage is happening. Some people are holding the U.S., creating the impression that, I mean, the U.S. rate is going down and prices are still up high. I mean, still strangulating our people in the web of poverty. I mean, look at the social and economic system. I mean, everything is just so bleak in the country. So sometimes it's so difficult to say. Sometimes when we say, people feel that we are doomed, they preach, but these are just realistic, something we just have to look at and just say it. I think we have to prioritize security, because without security, they say good money is a very bad environment. Nobody will take that good money in a very bad environment. So we have to look at that. And I would like to thank everybody. Thank you so much. So for that, I would like to end on here.
Okay, thanks a lot, Gabriel. Let's go to T-Max. T-Max, we can just get your final point and parting comment. Gabriel, as you prepare our final team song to call it a day. T-Max?
But before going, I think at least we'll try to read one or two comments. People are really requesting that we read their comments.
Yes, sometimes we follow the show and forget about our viewers.
Yeah.
They post a lot of comments. I think I said I try to get to some of it, and as the live goes on, it do go up. But I want to 5% lean with the advisor. He's right. The government is doing some things right, but it's always important to point out those issues that are very important to the people. As a government, well, if the government see us as a bad people or however they term us to be, for me, I would take that. But it's good to always say the truth, because when you in a house, you don't know what's happening. Someone from outside can see things that you in the house don't see because you feel comfortable being there. So it's important that we speak to these issues that are concerning to our people. We're not saying all year round the government is doing everything wrong. There are issues that the government is doing right that we will talk about when the need arises and when the time is afforded. We'll talk about it. But those basic necessity of our people, my sister there talked about, agriculture, where our people, need to really, the country need to invest in, because our people, hunger and starvation is one of the biggest things in our country. And that's one of the things our politicians use against our people. Today, if I want to become a representative or senator, I only need to buy like 1,000 bags of rice and just go over there and start sharing rice on people. Then I'm a good man, which is wrong. Our people should be looking at what is the policy that I have draft and plan for that district, for that county, for that community. Those are issues our people should be looking at. Not, oh, the man gave me 1 bag of rice for $500, so he's a good man. Because if people buy their way into leadership, they would definitely pay themselves when that time comes.
That's true.
So our people should graduate from that stage of letting politicians to feed them with food and allow them to get in power. And at the end of the day, these politicians don't give a heck about them, but they only care about paying themselves, because everything they give you, now it's time for them to reap. So you should be able to look at policy. Hey, this guy said he's going to do this. Is this going to benefit me? Is this going to benefit my children, my grandchildren? Oh, this guy sounds good. He has a good plan for this community. He has a good plan for this county. This guy plan will benefit my children. It will benefit my grandchildren. Those are things our people should be looking at. And not, oh, I come and buy 50 bags of rice and, oh, yeah, take 1 bag and $500 to each house. Oh, the man's a good man. That man is senator and representative. Our people should graduate from that stage. Because if not, Liberia will continue to repeat in this cycle of poverty, corruption, no security, no leadership, everybody greedy and trying to fend for themselves. So our country should understand that we need leaders that are there to work for the people, provide for the people, and listen to the people, and not there to themselves because they serve the people with rice and all the little stuff that they wanted the people to have to vote them to power. So if we can go on that path where people can look at policy instead of bag of rice, I think Liberia will be one of the best countries on the continent of Africa. Thank you, gentlemen. That's my part.
Okay, gentlemen, to our audience there that are following us, we want to take this time to appreciate every one of you for being on here while we discuss the issues concerning our country of Liberia. To all of our panelists, gentlemen, I want to tell you guys thank you. To also our panelists in the background, Melvin Papi Gray, our coordinator, thanks a lot for always being, part of all of our discussions and always pushing the platform forward. To Harry Victor Sal, thanks a lot also too for your participation. And gentlemen, I want to take this time to extend, thanks and appreciate. Today we performed, even though we went above the time we scheduled to run the show, but we did our best. It's because of the juice that we saw in the discussion that couldn't call this discussion to an end. But thanks a lot. And but let me just say one important thing, gentlemen. It is true that the government is doing well or doing something, but they are not doing enough. The people need enough to be done. Then we got to talk about Ganta City. Ganta City is not only Nima County. Nima County is very big. If Ganta City had 24-hour current, does Seklepi have 24-hour current? Does Yekepa have 24-hour current? Does Sanikwele have 24-hour current? Tapeta, and all of the big cities within Nima County. You cannot just speak of Ganta City and want to say that Nima is doing well. There's a lot of things need to be done in our country. The people do not have jobs. How many people in our country have jobs that they can afford $150 US per month? That's not happening in Liberia. Then you say the government is doing well. The government is not doing enough. The people need road connectivity. The people need safe drinking water. There's a lot of things the people need. So the government needs to do more for the Liberian people. And if they don't do it, we will keep talking about it so that they can have it done. So, gentlemen, on this note, we want to call it a day. We want to say thanks to our audience there for following us. Keep following us, sharing our broadcast every time we come on. And, gentlemen, have a wonderful, wonderful brand new week. Have a wonderful time from my end. Bye-bye. Gabriel?
Gabriel, make sure you cut the show off. Yeah, cut the show off because we're going back in a... We'll go I'm going
Yeah, man.
with you. I'm going
Let's
to
call it a
be
day, gentlemen. Salute you all.
there. You have to call it off.
Day not break. Everybody on the hustle.